Yo, welcome in. It's your boy Freaky, and today we're bringing you different type of content. In today's video, I'm going to tell you a story about why John Adams, not Washington or Jefferson, set the precedent for law and order in the United States. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to take you way back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
What doust I say? Way back. This beautiful place you see behind me is known as Peacefield, the home to Mr. John Adams. And Mr. John Adams is no ordinary farmer. A hard day's work never passed Mr. Adams by, and he never owned a slave. Unlike some people. But that's a story for another time. For today, we're going to talk about how Mr. Adams shaped the law and order landscape for the United States for years and years to come. Tensions were running high in the 1770s between the British Empire and the colonials. The British Empire sent 2,000 soldiers to occupy Boston, around the population of 16,000 at the time, in order to enforce the new taxing laws that King George placed on the colonials at the time. Many of the colonials had taken matters into their own hands and started attacking British shops. These people were known as loyalists. In one of these attacks, one of the British loyalists ended up shooting outside of his window and killing an 11-year-old boy, and you can say tensions started to get even hotter. A few days later,
3 days later,
a British soldier named Hugh White was walking around the town when a couple colonials started to accost him and hollering at him. They started throwing snowballs, which then turned into sticks and rocks.
Ow! Son of a nutcracker!
He ended up going down, and sirens and bells sounded. More colonials started to pour out and continued to accost and attack my man. Well, you could say things were escalating, and my man Private White decided to, reach out to his homies, right? So fellow other British soldiers came to his aid. After that, things started escalating. 5 people were shot and 6 wounded at the hands of the British soldiers. These soldiers were charged with murder and arrested immediately. And many of the colonists were fueling the flames with stuff in the press and in newspapers and talking around towns how they were going to charge with the death penalty. And the trial was getting really hairy. Well, one person decided to stand up. And yeah, you guessed it, that person is John Adams. To many people's dismay, he became their defense lawyer. After many contradictory statements were made by eyewitnesses, including no one really knowing who yelled the word fire before shots were heard, Captain Thomas Preston was found not guilty. As the other soldiers, they pleaded self-defense. All but 2, only 2, got off not guilty. The 2 that were in question: Hugh Montgomery, the first man to fire a weapon; Matthew Kilroy. He was the first person to kill a man in the Boston Massacre. Both of these men were not given the death penalty. However, they were branded at a later time. And during this time, and during the trial, no one could really say that John Adams didn't try his best to do exactly what he needed to do. Because even though he hated the English and didn't like the soldiers occupying Boston, he still saw through all of the crap, the trumped up charges, all of the miscommunications, everything that happened up until this trial and during the trial, and he knew that these men were not guilty at all. And after all, isn't everyone innocent until proven guilty? I think John Adams really classified this best. And I hope you dug this content. If you like it and you want to see some more, make sure you comment below and let me know. And I hope y'all all stay freaky.